3. So I want to talk about the Broncos, and I want to ask a question about this team and who the face of it is. We had that conversation last year and said, all right, Bo's kind of coming on, but is this still kind of Sean Payton's team, especially from a national perspective of who's the face of the Denver Broncos? I think all of us want it to be Bo. I think a lot of us believe it's going to be Bo, and I think I would say that happens like as soon as this year. But I'm not sure that it is right now. I still think that Sean Payton is the face of the Denver Broncos. And then I was thinking about that of, all right, is that good? Is that bad? Is it indifferent? I don't know that it's bad, but I would also say what I kind of teased it with, if the answer is yes, coach is the face of the franchise, are they ready to really be in the lane of Super Bowl contender? Because I would say, like, even like the Belichick Brady. Brady was clearly the face of the franchise. The Mahomes Reed. Mahomes is clearly the face of the franchise. Now those guys are up there, second, third in the pecking order if we had to do who's representing the team, but they're not above their quarterback.
Right.
I think Bo gets that at some point this year, but right now on June 24th, I say Sean Payton is still the face of the Broncos. And I don't know if you're really in that championship mode if that's the case.
We'd have to discuss that then, because I think you can be. I think you can be in the championship mode because there's going to be a transfer of power, if you will. And the baton will be passed from Sean to Bo this year. And if it happens in the postseason, and if it happens when Bo, you're in the Super Bowl against the Commanders, right?
Ooh.
Kev's going to be so
scenario.
excited. And you're down by 7. You need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. You're on your 7-yard line, and Bo Nix takes over. That's his moment. That's when Bo becomes that face. So I think it can, because there is going to be a natural transfer power. I don't think Bo needs to be the face of the franchise from week 1.
I don't either.
For them to be a championship contender. I think it can happen during the season. I think it does happen during the season.
So you said in the playoffs, can it be a moment inside the regular season? Because I'm with you on the timeline, and then it can happen right here, right now. We'll watch it happen this year. I didn't necessarily think of it as a moment in the playoff. That might be like the stamp of it, but I thought of it as like, there's a glimpse in week 4. There's another glimpse in week 6. He really starts to run with it by week 10. And then, like I said, by like week 12 or 13, we're going, whoa. This is Bo's operation now. And then there's a moment in the playoffs where he puts his stamp on it.
I think we can see glimpses. We should, but mainly it would have to be, if it happens in the regular season, the actual transfer of power, like this is Bo's team. It happens in a game where you clinch the division.
Ooh, I like that.
Big stuff.
Yeah.
Big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or the number 1 seed in the AFC.
So he has to ball out in those games that you're talking about.
Right. So the glimpses can happen, and we can get the idea. We know it's coming. Everybody's doing it. We know that it's coming for Bo Nix to be the face of the franchise. It'll naturally happen. Sean won't force it. Sean won't fight it, by the way, either. He's got the largest ego on the planet. He discovered electricity. Just ask him. Smartest guy in the room. And he wants this to happen. Sean Payton wants Bo Nix to take over. Sean Payton wants him because, back to your original point, who's going to win with the coach as the face of the franchise? Who's going to be a championship team when it's the coach that gets all the glory?
I don't think that exists.
If we look back at recent Super Bowl champions, you can't really say it does exist.
No.
You'd maybe, and I'd go even back to the defense, but I'd go back to the Gruden Buccaneers, which was Tony Dungy's team, and then Gruden just took over and won with those guys. But that also was Derek Brooks and John Lynch and all those guys. More so than Gruden, but that's when Brad Johnson was your quarterback.
He's definitely more of a face than the quarterback was.
Right. You go back to Brian Billick with Stoke, baby, when they won Super Bowl 35, most boring Super Bowl ever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's more that defense more than I think Brian Billick.
Definitely. I mean, that's like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and stuff like that.
Right. So I think...
And Stokely, of course.
Sean will be very happy when that natural transfer of power happens.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right that it does. We're going to see it happen this season. We're going to see it happen. Is it just those small glimpses and then the big stamp? But I like what you said. It's kind of it has to happen. Beat the Chiefs. Have a big moment in Kansas City. Go and beat the Chargers twice and shine in both of those games. Beat the brakes off the Raiders and shine in both of those games. And then on Monday Night Football, when you got Joe Burrow and Cincinnati coming to Mile High, you got to shine in those sort of games too to get that spotlight just burning down on top of Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Don't you guys think he had those moments in his rookie year? He had the big play to Sutton in Kansas City to set him up for the field goal.
Yeah.
He had the big 93-yard touchdown on Monday night against Cleveland. He went toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Just kind of throwing that out there.
No, those are good moments.
Were those, to me, those were moments where it was like, we do have our quarterback. We haven't really had, I don't feel like those moments in the previous, 9 years before that.
Well, if we did, they were all lies. Trevor Siemian against the Cowboys or whatever that game was, like, and sorry, Stink, but Stink was like, pay the guy, like, and you honestly couldn't at the time, but still.
I remember when Trevor,
but this
who did he juke out? One of the Bosas, like,
something
Joey
like
Bosa.
that, yeah. But this is face of the franchise talk. Bo had those moments, he had those flashes, but I don't think those moments or those flashes as a rookie made him face of the franchise. I still think it's Sean right now.
And I would say that, Kevin, your moments are great. I would think that a lot of those moments are going to, man, look at the position that Sean put his quarterback in. I think next year, this coming year, it goes, look at what Bo just did instead of what Sean set him up to do. You know what I mean? Like, they're just giving Sean more credit for it.
And I think, too, another point with the face of the franchise stuff, when we look back at the 90s Broncos teams that won the 2 Super Bowls, is it fair to say that there was multiple faces of the franchise? It wasn't just Elway. It was also
Terrell Davis, yeah.
It was also Mike Shanahan.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Shannon Sharp. It was also Rod Smith. Even in Super Bowl 50, it wasn't just Peyton. It was Von Miller, DeMarcus, Talib, and Gary Kubiak. Could we have that same kind of concept now where it's not just Bo, it is Cortland Sutton, it is PS2, it is Zach Allen, it is Greenlaw.
PS2. PS2 is a great name.
Kev brings up a great point because if we go back to Mahomes and Reed, to be a champion, you have to have multiple faces, multiple places of greatness. And yeah, we all hate the Chiefs, but Andy Reid's great.
Yes.
Pat Mahomes great. I can't stand the Chiefs, but they're great. So you need Sean Payton to be great, and now Bo Nix to be great.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Kev hit on the money with the Shanahan thing. Shanahan, Elway, Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
That's what made that team special. So you need multiple faces of the franchise.
I mean, especially when we're talking about championship teams, because Rod Smith, Ed McCaffrey, there are multiple players. John Mobley played a pretty big role in championships. Locally, I think there's we're casting a bigger net. Nationally, I think it is that. It's like coach, star offensive player, star defensive player, and you can be looked at as the face of your franchise.
It's like, does each championship team have to have their own Mount Rushmore?
Oh, I like that.
Like, do you have to have four faces to have a championship team?
PS2, Sean, Bo, and
Greg Penner.
I like that. Bo Lowry. This year we need him.
Sean will take his own face off and put Bo Lowry on it.
And then he'll brag about it. If Sean was on Mount Rushmore, you know that he'd call up George Payton every day. George, my God, did you see what they did in the mountains? They put up my face, George. It's amazing. I mean, they kind of got my face a little bit wrong, George, but, I mean, that's going to be there forever, George. People, they'll never forget about me, George.
Yeah.
Does it have a visor on it is the only question. Can you carve a visor into that thing? All right, Broncos country, you tell us, who's the face right now? And is it in time, really this season, are we going to start to see that transition of, no, it's not Sean's team. This baby belongs to Bo. 303-713-1043 to give us your answers. Name at the end of your